Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome back to our virtual consultation in Mathematics 9. We are already in week number 5, so we are using module number 5 entitled Quadratic Inequalities. So, what are our tasks for this module? We have three following objectives. First objective is to illustrate quadratic inequalities. The second one is to solve quadratic inequalities using interval notations. And lastly, solve word problems involving quadratic inequalities. So to start up with lesson number 1, illustrating quadratic inequalities. So what's in? Our first task is to identify which of the following equations are considered quadratic. So we have there 8 equations that we might consider them quadratic and some are not. So what do you think from those equations given? So probably okay, the first quadratic equation, x squared plus 9x plus 20 is equal to 0, is considered quadratic. Another, m squared equals 6m minus 7. When it is rewritten, it could be m squared minus 6m plus 7. Another, 15 minus 6h squared equals 100. If we are going to rewrite that one, it will become positive 6h squared equals 11 na siya. You transfer 100 to the left side, it becomes 15 minus 100, so that is negative 85. So 6h squared plus 85 equals 0. That is considered quadratic. So we have 3 equations already that are considered quadratic. Another, okay, the last one maybe is 4x squared minus 25 equals 0. So what about the remaining mathematical statements, like that one, that one, that one, and that one? What have you observed with these mathematical statements? How are you able to identify which of the mathematical statements are quadratic equations? Because of the symbol equal. And which of them are not? Or based on the encircled mathematical statements, what have you observed with the symbols that have been used? There is no symbol of equality. So how would you call these mathematical statements that are not considered as quadratic equations, like those encircled? So to continue, what is it? So the equations encircled are the ones that are not considered quadratic equations. Instead, we call them as quadratic inequalities. So what is quadratic inequality? A quadratic inequality is an equality that contains polynomial of degree 2 and its corresponding symbols of inequality that can be written in the following forms. What are they? First, in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c greater than 0, kung ano siya x tapat sa b. The second one is ax squared plus bx plus c less than 0. The third one is ax squared plus bx plus c greater than or equal to 0. Another is ax squared plus bx plus c less than or equal to 0. So we have to take note that not all mathematical statements that contains the said symbols of inequalities like less than, greater than, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to would necessarily mean quadratic inequality, because we have also to check if its first term, which is ax squared, or the quadratic term, contains the degree of 2. Otherwise, it shall be considered linear inequality. Okay, sample time. Let's try to determine whether each mathematical sentence illustrates a quadratic inequality or not. Number 1. X squared plus 9x plus 14 greater than 0. What can you say? Yes, it is considered quadratic inequality because it is of degree 2. The highest exponent of x there is 2. And it is written in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c greater than 0. The second example, 3x squared minus 4x is equal to 1. No, because the given mathematical sentence is a quadratic equation because it has the symbol equal. How about the third one? The product of the quantity 2x minus 3 and x plus 2 is greater than 0. How about this item? Yes, this is considered quadratic inequality because if it is transformed, it would be made into a quadratic inequality as seen on the solution below. Example, quantity 2x minus 3 times quantity x plus 2 greater than 0. So, in the next part, product of two binomials is multiplying using fold method. So that would give us 2x times x is 2x squared, 2x times 2 is 4x, negative 3 times x is negative 3x, negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. So minus 6 greater than 0. So to simplify further, we combine the middle term, positive 4x minus 3x. So that becomes 2x squared plus x na lang. Okay, 4 minus 3 is 1. So plus x. Bring down minus 6 greater than 0. So therefore, the rewritten inequality is 2x squared plus x minus 6 greater than 0. So therefore, it is quadratic inequality. And lastly, number 4. 3x squared plus 18 less than 3 times x squared minus 4x. Is it quadratic or not? Let us see. No. Oh. Don't no man sir. Nga naaman na ano less than. Oh, let us try to check. It is no because if it is transformed, it would be made into a linear inequality as seen on the solution below. Example, the given is 3x squared plus 18 less than 3 times the quantity x squared minus 4x. The next part of the solution will become 3x squared plus 18 less than. Gidistribute ang 3 sa binomial ng x squared minus 4x. So, 3 times x squared is 3x squared. 3 times negative 4x, negative 12x. So, to simplify further, gigroup na to no, ang mga ang 3 terms to the left side. So, we copy 3x squared. Ang 3x squared sa right side sa inequality gibalhin, mahimo siyang minus 3x squared. Ang negative 12x or minus 12x sa right side gibalhin padong sa left side becomes plus 12x. Then we copy plus 18. Then copy less than. So what remains on the right side is 0. Then we combine 3x squared minus 3x squared, that is cancelled. So what remains is positive 12x plus 18 less than 0. And that is linear inequality. Okay? Nasabtan ra. Okay, to continue. So what's more? So, more to may examples. So, for what's more, when you will answer activity 5.1, determine whether each mathematical sentence illustrates a quadratic inequality or not. Show your complete solution on one whole sheet of paper as what you have seen a while ago. So we have there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I guess marag selected running items ng ansiran. So next, Lesson number 2, solving quadratic inequalities. Our second task is we will have a short recall in Mathematics 7 lesson on linear inequality. Back then, you were taught on how to write the solution set using the interval notation given the graph drawn on number line. So, recall as a grade 7. This one, the number line. You have there A, B, and C. Later, you will realize so gamit ng A, B, and C sa atong solution. Okay, example. We have there two open dot. The first open dot is located at 3, positive 3. The second open dot is located in negative 2. And the graph is pointing to the left, to the negative numbers. So, if that would be based on grade 7, if the solution is pointing to the left of the open dot, so therefore, ang solution is padong sa left. So, what are the values of x there? It should be greater than negative 2 or less than negative 2. Okay, kung greater than negative 2, padong ta sa right. Ang graph padong man sa left, so therefore, the values of x is less than negative 2. Okay, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, and so on. Mas gamay pa na siya sa negative 2. That's why the expression written beside a is x is less than negative 2. So the values of x nga less than pa sa negative 2. So therefore, if we are to write the interval notation, that would give us open and close parentheses, negative infinity to negative 2. We use open close parentheses since it is open or hollow dot. If it's a hollow or open dot, negative 2 and 3 are not part of the solution set in any of the three regions A, B, and C. So, secondly, first example, our solution is located on the left side. While parentheses will be used in writing the interval notation only when, kano sa gamiton ang open and close parentheses, only when it contains negative or positive infinity. The second condition is when the inequality used is less than and greater than, or when it uses open dot. So, kani example. Next, continuation of lesson number 2. Example number 2, our graph is located at the center. So, the values of x is less than 3 but greater than negative 2. So, kung sa mga number nga dako, nga gamay pa sa 3, huwag dako pa sa negative 2. So, muna ang mga numbers nga negative 1, 0, 1, and 2 exclusively. To write the interval notation for region B, whose graph is located at the middle, we use the parentheses since it uses open dot, giving us the interval notation open close parentheses from negative 2 to positive 3, meaning wala ilabot ang negative 2 o 3. Okay, that one. Then the third one, when the graph is pointing to the right, located at region C, wherein the values of x is greater than 3. So, kung sa mga number nga dako pa sa 3, that is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2, positive infinity, excluding 3. So to write the interval notation for region C, whose graph is located at the right, we use the parentheses since it uses open dot, giving us the interval notation open close parentheses from 3 to positive infinity. That one. So to continue, so our first three examples are using open dot. The next three examples will be using the solid or closed dot. So ganina, nagamit ang mga open close parentheses only when there is negative positive infinity and when it uses less than or greater than or open dot. How about if we are using solid or closed dot? Kano sa ram gamiton ang solid or closed dot? So example number 4. You have there the closed dot nga naa sa 4, nag-start sa negative 4, pointing to the left side of the number line which is negative. So the values of x there is less than or equal to negative 4. So ang pinaka first value sa x kay negative 4 niya. Usa ba itong mga number nga gama, usa man mga number nga gamay pa sa negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8 to negative infinity. So to write the interval notation for region A, whose graph points to the left, we use open parentheses for negative infinity and a close bracket for negative 4. Why? Since negative 4 magod is part of the solution. So ganina, open parentheses atong gigang open close parentheses atong gamit tungod kay open dot man siya. Pero karon close dot naman. So we will use a bracket for negative 4 since negative 4 is part of the solution set, giving us the interval notation open parentheses negative infinity to negative 4 exclusively manang bracket. That one. The next example for close dot, when our graph is at the center. Okay, that one. Wherein our values of x is exclusively from negative 4 to positive 1. So, what are the values of x nga gamay pa sa 1? Ang 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Ang mga values sa x nga dako pa sa negative 4. Ang negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0. O ang 1. Na may kuwante ka sa symbol nga equal o both sa less than. So exclusively the solution set are found between negative 4 to positive 1. So to write the interval notation for region B, whose graph is located at the middle, we use a bracket since negative 4 and 1 are part of the solution set, since it uses closest dot, giving us the interval notation from negative 4 to positive 1, open and close bracket. Okay. To continue, the last part is when the graph is located at the region C and the graph is pointing to the right at region C, so positive integers, wherein ang value sa x is greater than or equal to 1, meaning ang pinaka first consider nga solution set niya is ang positive 1 padong sa positive infinity. So to write the interval notation for region C, whose graph points to the right, we use an open bracket since 1 is part of the solution and a closed parenthesis for it contains positive infinity, giving us the interval notation open bracket 1 to positive infinity, close parenthesis. So wherein ang value sa x is dili siya, wrong is siya. It should be x greater than or equal to 1 na siya. Masaya pa na. So what's new? Given the conditions on when we can use the parentheses and bracket in writing the interval notations of the various solution sets of these inequalities, how can we use it in solving quadratic inequalities? Ganito sa itong paggamit sa open close parentheses, open and close bracket. So how are we going to solve quadratic inequalities using interval notation? So we have here the 3 steps in solving quadratic inequalities. First is to express the quadratic inequality as a quadratic equation in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, and then solve for the value of x using any method. Pwede factoring, completing the square, or quadratic formula. Next step is to locate the numbers or values of x on the number line, which will guide you to determine the exact solution among 3 regions, A, B, and C. And lastly, choose 3 test points from each region. So, to look at test point, 1 test point from each region, and plug into the regional inequality for verification purposes. If it holds true for specific test point sa usa ka region, then that region or regions contains the possible solution or solutions. Otherwise, solutions are found at the other region or regions. So let's try solving a few examples using the following steps mentioned above. Example number 1. The given inequality is x squared minus 3x plus 2 greater than 0. So the first step, we will write them in quadratic equation. So x squared minus 3x plus 2 equal to 0. Next step is to find the binomial factors of the quadratic equation. So the method I'm using here is factoring. So gifactor na ako ang trinomial nga x squared minus 3x plus 2 equal to 0 as to binomials nga x minus 2 and x minus 1. Nga naman, okay, negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. Negative 2 plus negative 1 is negative 3 ang sum. Product ay positive 2. Next. So, equate the two binomial factors to 0. According to zero product property, that each binomial is equal to 0. X minus 2 equal to 0 and x minus 1 equal to 0. Then, determine the values of x. So, balhin na negative 2, no? Mahimo siyang positive 2. Ang negative 1, mahimong positive 1. So, we have two values of x, 1 and 2. So, we will locate them on the number line. And we use open that. So, dako open that nasa 1 o nasa 2. Karon, our third step, we will select any of the numbers belonging to each region except for the given values of x that are already plotted on the number line in the case of open that. So, kanang 1 ug 2 di sa labot. So, ang region A nag-compose of possible values from 0 to negative infinity. While ang region B, ang iyang value kay ang mga number or fraction in between sa 1 and 2. So, sama na 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 1.9. Wala butan 2. While region C, nag-start yung values, pinakagamay, 3, padong positive infinity. Okay. So example, from region A, I select the value of x which is equal to 0. So when x is 0, therefore, So to the next step, i-plug in ang value sa x ngato sa original inequality niya given x squared minus 3x plus 2 greater than 0. So when x is 0, so pulihan na ra ang x of 0. 0 squared minus 3 times 0 plus 2 greater than 0. So what is 0 squared? 0 times 0 is 0. Minus, what is 3 times 0? It is still 0. So, ang 0 squared is 0. Nya, 3 times 0 is 0. So, 0 minus 0 is 0. What remains on the left side of the equation inequality is 2. Munang 2 greater than 0, which is true. How about from region C? So, sir, kung nilaktaw mo kasi nga na pa may region B. Okay. The very reason why not only i-laktaw ko sa region C kay when the test point for region A is true, automatically ang region C would also be true. Let's try to check. I choose the value of x there with 3. When x is 3 from region C, ako yung plug in ang 3 nga to sa value sa x sa inequality. So that is 3 squared minus 3 times 3 plus 2 greater than 0. So what is 3 squared? 9. Then minus 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So ganina, 9 minus 9 is equal to 0. So nawagtang na. Nabilin, 2 na lang. Yeah, greater than 0. And 2 greater than 0 is 2 is greater than 0. So that is true. So therefore, ang possible value of x nga naa sa region B, which is between 1 and 2, is false. So from region B, when x is 1.5, pwede mo gamit sa 1 o 2, no? So ang in between niya nga number is 1.5. Ito nga akong ipili. Then, if ato na i-substitute sa inequality, that becomes the square of 1.5 minus 3 times 1.5 plus 2 is greater than 0. Can that be true? Let's start to check. So the square of 1.5 is 1.5 times 1.5 is 2.25 minus, what is 3 times 1.5? That is 4.5. Then bring down plus 2, bring down greater than 0. 2.25 minus 4.5 plus 2 is what? Gi-add na ko daan ang 2.25 o 2. That is 4.25. Yeah, minus, bring down 4.5 greater than 0. Karon, ang 4.25 i-minus sa 4.5, kabawtang ang 4.25 is gamay pa sa 4.5. So therefore, the result is negative 0.25. Yeah, greater than 0. Is it true that a negative number is greater than 0? It is false. So with this example, once both test points on regions A and C are proven true, automatically the test point on region B would be false. Therefore, our solution set are found on regions A and C with a given interval notation as open close parentheses from negative infinity to 1, union with open close parentheses from positive 2 to positive infinity. Yang graph yung nana. Yan, interval notation niya. Okay? So, nakabantay mo. Puro open close parentheses ang gigamit simply because the inequality used is greater than. So, therefore, open dot. Second example. X squared plus 4x minus 12 less than or equal to 0. So first step is to rewrite the given equality into a quadratic equation. So x squared plus 4x minus 12 equal to 0. Second is I use factoring method. wherein the binomial factors are x plus 6 and x minus 2. Why? To get the sum for x, that is 6x minus 2x. So that is sum for x. To get the product negative 12, 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. Then according to zero product property, each binomial is equal to 0. X plus 6 equal to 0, x minus 2 equal to 0. Then to determine the values of x, ang plus 6, ibalhin, mahimo siya negative 6. Ang minus 2, ibalhin, mahimo siyang positive 2. Therefore, if we are to draw or to plot the values of x on the number line, we use close that. Why? The inequality used is less than or equal to. So therefore, close that or close that. Solid or close that, sorry. So the first close that or solid that is from negative 6. The second solid that is located at positive 2. Now we can select any of the numbers belonging to each region except for the given values of x that are already plotted on the number line in the case of open dot. Pero di man siya open dot, this is closed dot. Nasa iyo pa rin siya. So therefore, ang negative 6 o positive 2 will be included na kay kuha naman ni siya, closed dot naman. Sa iyo pa ang given. Ang statement dahil sa iyo. So, ang region A ani should be from negative 6 to negative infinity to the left. Region B is from negative 6 padung sa positive 2. While region C is from positive 2 to positive infinity. Okay. I will choose the value of x, which is negative 7 from region A. So if we will plug in the value of x, which is negative 7 to the inequality na x squared plus 4x minus 12 is less than or equal to 0. So ang x ka negative 7, no? Pagyan siya negative 7. So negative 7 squared is positive 49 because that is negative 7 times negative 7. So 49. Then plus 4 times negative 7 is negative 28. Bring down minus 12, bring down less than or equal to 0. 49 minus 28 minus 12 is equal to 9. Is 9 less than 0? Ang 9 ba gamay pa sa 0? Dili. That is false. Neither 9 is equal to 0. So, false ang region A. So, posible po ang iyang kaatbang anak sa region C. False po. Let us start to check. From region C, ang gipili nga values sa x kay 4. So, when 4 is substituted to the inequality, that is 4 squared plus 4 times 4 minus 12 less than or equal to 0. So, what is 4 squared? That is 16. Yeah, plus 4 times 4 is 16. Bring down minus 12. Bring down less than or equal to 0. 16 plus 16 is 32. 32 minus 12 is 20. Is 20 less than 0? It is false. Is 20 equal to 0? It is also false. So therefore, wala sa region A, wala sa region C. So possibly ang possible solution nasa region B. Check. So from region B, when x is 0, ang gipili. So substitute or plug in 0 to the inequality. 0 squared plus 4 times 0 minus 12 less than or equal to 0. 0 squared is 0. Okay, 0 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0, 0 gyapon. So 0 plus 0 is 0. Minus 12. 0 minus 12 is negative 12. Is negative 12 less than 0? Ang negative 12 gamay pa ba sa 0? Yes, it is true. Neither negative 12 is not equal to 0. Di siya equal to 0, pero tinuod nga negative 12 gamay pag sa 0. So with this example, once both test points on regions A and C are proven false, automatically any test point on region B would be true even without solving. Therefore, our solution set is found on region B only with a given interval notation as open and close bracket from negative 6 to positive 2. So, mo na itong number line. Nasibog it ang A, B, and C. Sorry. So, therefore, our solution is found at region B na siya. From negative 6 to positive 2 exclusively. Open and close bracket. So that ends my discussion for lesson 2. So for the activity 5.2, solve the given quadratic inequalities by writing the correct interval notation using a number line. Show your complete solution on one whole sheet of paper. I guess you will only answer number 2 and 4. Only numbers 2 and 4. Okay. We are now on the last lesson of this module, lesson number 3, word problems involving quadratic inequalities. So what's in? Observe the translated statements containing inequality into symbols. The required score to pass the test is at least 38. So translation niya is score is greater than or equal to 38. So therefore, ang explanation niya that the score should be 38 and above. So, sa Bisaya pa, ang pinakagamay niyang score dapat kuhaon para mapasar should be 38. Dili po di 37 below. Next statement. The number of people who attended is more than 60. Translation, hashtag or number sign. Number of people is greater than 60. Explanation, the number of people who attended should be more than 60. So, ang sabi mga number nga dako pa sa 60. 61, 62, 63. Way labot ang 60. The grade she received in math is no more than 90. So, grade less than or equal to 90. The grade could be 90 and below. Like the statement, the grade she received in math is no more than 90. So, dili pwede mo lapas og 90. Kung dili 90 paubos ang iyahang grado. The required age for the applicant is at most 30 years old. Age is less than or equal to 30. Age should be 30 and below. So, pinakalakong edad is 30. Ragyod niya paubos. So, naimini ng edad lang mga bata-bata pa nga mga aplikante. At most 30 years old. So, maximum age is 30. Next, the financial aid given by the LGU is no less than 3,000 pesos. So, translation, aid is greater than or equal to 3,000. So, explanation, financial aid given could be 3,000 pesos and above. So, labing gamay nga nahatag sa gobyerno is 3,000 pataas. Okay, nasabtan ra ang mga inequality. Greater than, equal to, pero sa magamit og greater than, kana, banta. Something time. Okay, let us try this one. Task number 3. Try to translate these statements containing inequality into symbols. Same ganina. So there the given statement, the weight is more than 2 kilograms. Second statement, his savings is less than 76,000 pesos. Third, the sum of their ages is no more than 24. Then the fourth one, her salary is more than 25,000 pesos. The last one, the product of two positive numbers is at most 100. You give your own translation. So what is it? At this point, you will apply the skills you have learned in solving quadratic inequalities in the process of solving word problems involving inequalities, also following the same steps. So again, we have the 4 steps in problem solving. First, read and analyze the problem by identifying the given and missing values using variables. Second, formulate the equation based on translated phases. Third one, solve the problem using a more convenient method. Fourth, check and verify your answer against the given equation being formulated. Example. We have only one example here. The local government plans to put the symptomatic COVID-19 patients in an isolation area. Okay. Pandemic time no? So, sakto dyan siya example. The quarantine facility has a rectangular floor which will be covered entirely with tiles. Wow. The length of the rectangular floor is 10 feet longer than the width, and the area of the floor is at least 1,200 square foot. Question number 1. What are the possible dimensions of the floor? The second, what are the least dimensions of the floor? Okay, so the first step, identify the given. So we will let x be the width of the floor, while x plus 10 would be the length of the floor. Kaya ang statement, the length of the rectangular floor is 10 feet longer than its width. So labaw na po ka feet, 10 feet. So therefore, the length of the floor is x plus 10, while the width is x. While the area of the floor is greater than or equal to 1,200 square foot. Area of the floor is at least 1,200 square foot. At least mas greater than or equal to. So to illustrate, we have here the rectangle or the rectangular floor wherein the area is greater than or equal to 1,200 square foot. The length is x plus 10 feet. The width is x feet. Formula. Area is length times width. So length times width represents the area. And the area is greater than or equal to 1,200 square foot based on the first given. So to substitute the given length and width, the length is x plus 10, the width is x, then greater than or equal to 1,200 square foot. Okay, solution number 1. Since the given is an inequality, so the first step is to rewrite them into quadratic equation. That is x times x plus 10 equal to 1,200. Then the second step I made is I transformed the equation into its standard form. So monomial x times binomial x plus 10, we distribute x times x squared, x times 10, 10x. And ang 1,200 on the right side, you transfer na to the left, becomes minus 1,200 equal to 0. Then I use factoring method. The factors of 1,200 or negative 1,200 or positive 40 or negative 30. Ano, 40 times negative 30 is negative 1,200. 40 minus 30 is positive 10, which is the sum. So, nakuha ra. Next, after I have Determine the binomial factors of this quadratic equation. Okay. Equate the two binomial factors to 0 based on zero product property. So x plus 40 equals to 0 and x minus 30 equal to 0. Then, determine the values of x. Ibutang ang plus 40 nibalik sa right side, mahimo negative 40. Ang x minus 30, ang negative 30 nibalhin, ang minus 30 nibalhin sa right side, mahimo positive 30. Equate the two binomials to values of x. So we have there duha ka values x, negative 40 or positive 30. Okay, we have there the number line by tens, no, from negative 70 sa left side padung sa right side niya positive 70. Iyang borderline nasa negative 40. Ang second borderline nasa positive 30. So the whole number line is divided into three regions. Region A is composed ikan sa negative 40 padung sa negative infinity, while region B is from negative 40 padung sa positive 30. Region C is from positive 30 to positive 70. Okay, so we have plotted there already the two possible solutions of x, and we use close that guy. Ang gigamit is greater than or equal to man. So close that or solid that. From then, we can select three test points from the three regions, including the given values of x that are already plotted on the number line in the case of close that. So example, from region A, akong gipili sa value sa x kay negative 45. So doon siya sa 40, no? To the left, negative 45. So when x is negative 45, once i-plug in sa inequality nga x times x plus 10 greater than or equal to 1,200, it would become put the x negative 45. Okay, first parenthesis negative 45, then open close parenthesis negative 45 plus 10, then greater than or equal to 1,200. Ang binomial, ikaduhang parenthesis nga negative 45 plus 10, pilam na siya. That is negative 35. Negative 35 times negative 45, ang primerong parenthesis is negative 35 times negative 45, both are negative, so if we multiply, the result would become positive. Positive 1,575. Is it greater than 1,200? It is true. But it is not equal, but at least true siya. Nga 1,575 is dako pa sa 1,200. So if region A is true, it is possible that region C would also be true. Okay, example, when the value of x is 40, positive 40, you plug in sa inequality, that is x which is 40, x is 40 plus 10 greater than or equal to 1,200. Pila ng 40 plus 10? That is 50. 50 times 40 is 2,000. Is 2,000 greater than 1,200? Yes, it is true. Ang 2,000 dako pa sa 1,200, and that is true. Pero it's dili tinuod nga ang 2,000 equal to 1,200. But at least it is true that 2,000 is greater than 1,200. So if region A and region C are both true, so it is possible that region B is false. The possible values in region B would give us false in test point. Example, from region B, when x is 0, then x is 0, x is 0 plus 10 greater than or equal to 1,200. So 0 plus 10 is 10. 10 times 0 sa first parenthesis. What is 10 times 0? Any number multiplied by 0 is 0. So is 0 greater than 1,200? Dili. Neither 0 is equal to 1,200. So both are false. With this example, once both test points on regions A and C are proven true, automatically the test point in region B would be false. Therefore, our solution set are found on regions A and C with a given international notation as follows. So, nagamit ang open parentheses tungod kay na ay negative infinity to negative 40 close bracket. Y, uphill ang negative 40. Then union with open bracket starting with 30 to positive infinity close parentheses. So, that is that graph. Duha ka close that padong sa left side o right side. Kaya ang mga solutions nasa region A o region C. Then mo na yung interval notation. From negative infinity to negative 40 close bracket union with open bracket 30 to positive infinity. Based on the given values of x plotted on the number line, we will use the positive value of x, that is positive 30. Diba duha po kabuk no? Ang ganina negative 40, ang usa positive 30. So, ang kaning ato ang primerong graph going to the left, dili na siya pwede magamit kay puro na mga negative. Di sa tabi magamit sa values na sa region B kay false man na. So ato pwede gamiton agad ang kaning naa sa region C. So all the values pointing to the right at region C. Nag-start siya og positive 30, which is the measurement of the width. So if x is 30, then to solve for the length of the floor, that is length is equal to x plus 10. Therefore, the length is 40 feet. Kay x is 30 man. So, 30 plus 10 is 40. So, mo na sila ang basic nga dimensions sa rectangular floor. Answer to question A. What are the possible dimensions of the floor? The possible dimensions of the rectangular floor are from 30 feet and 40 feet. 30 feet ang width, 40 feet ang length. Or within the solution set nga positive 30 to positive infinity, that will give an area of at least 1,200 square foot. So, pwede tayo magamit ng 31, 32, 33. Kay pinakagamay niyang area nga mga gamma is 1,200 man and bigger pa yun. Answer to question B. What are the least dimensions of the floor? The least dimensions of the floor, ang pinakagamay ng dimension niya is 30 by 40. So, pwede pa ginamit siya mahimong 35 by 45 or 40 by 50 and so on. So, for the activity, what's more, on activity 5.3, solve the following word problems. Word problem below by following the steps presented. Show your solution in a separate sheet of paper. So that is the given problem, not just a module. Then after answering activity 5.3, you will answer the assessment or post-test. Answer items 1 to 10, letters only. Also be written on a one whole sheet of paper. Provide extra paper if needed. So, thank you once again for participating in this virtual consultation. For any questions, you can message through Facebook Messenger. Good day, everyone. Thank you.